All right, everybody. Hey, thanks so much for joining us on yet another episode of Off the Cuff. I'm your host, Josh Kalinowski, and it is Friday. We look forward to Fridays.
Okay.
Multiple reasons. Obviously, the first and foremost is it's the weekly real estate update with nobody else other than Chad Loomis. How's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
Awesome. All right.
Raspy there.
I know it's bad, so you got to talk. So
Okay.
what's going on?
All right. So pending sales were down 14 from last week, down to 223. The 115 to 215 decreased by 4. 215 to 315 decreased by 2, and the 315 to 500 no adjustment there, and then the 500 plus range increased by 1.
Just went up. All right. Well, that's it is what it is, right? Very typical for this time of the year. Everybody's getting back into school, getting back into their routines. Traditionally we will see another uptick coming at least once or twice before the end of the year. I hate the fact that I'm saying end of the year, but that's the reality, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so on top of that, we also are going to talk about 3 additional buyer bewares, right?
That's
Things
right.
that are going on in the market that you as a buyer, before you purchase, you've got to be aware of. It's going to really help the process and really help you and your anxiety potentially out here. So,
right.
Number 1 is inspections.
That's right. So during the inspection process, you are free to get as many inspections as you want. We encourage it. We want to make sure you get into a very sound home that's going to last a long time. So some buyers, they don't do inspections at all, or they don't do enough inspections. So when you're doing that, you want to think about radon, termites, the roof. Other than just a general inspection, you want to kind of dive into the home and make sure that there's no other issues that you're going to have to face moving in.
Right, yeah, this is your one opportunity to do as many inspections so that you have an understanding of this house, because once you sign on that dotted line, it's your home, right?
That's right.
Okay, so we've got inspections. Now let's talk about negotiations too. Going into the negotiations, what are buyers expecting a little bit?
Well, buyers expecting, we always hear the term lowball offers, and they are low. They think 20 to 30% off the asking price plus seller paid closings, which is going to kill the deal right away. You're going to insult the seller, and we don't want to do that. So typically what we've been seeing is around 5% off the purchase price, which includes seller paid closing too. So
yeah, really the market's not able to hold that. First of all, there's typically not enough liquidity in the property, so that even if the seller wanted to, they could get down to that price point. But really the market isn't that bad. We're really seeing concessions 2 to 3, maybe 5%. So if you can get that in the negotiations, that's a very successful negotiation for sure. Okay, last but not least, let's talk about the financing, because that has really changed.
yeah, as the years go on, banks are always adding new regulations and rules. So going into that, so obviously the pre-qual letters are very important before we start the home search. You obviously need that when submitting an offer.
Yeah, and the paperwork, it's a little bit more and more, and it really seems like the banks are asking for a lot of personal information now. So, first of all, don't get offended by that. That's very typical, unfortunately. And I think if you're aware that that's going to happen, you're probably a little bit more at ease. But they do ask for very specific information, and it can seem at times a little bit intrusive. But unfortunately, that's just the name of the game now. And what we want to do is really provide that information and let them know that, hey, listen, this is what's going to happen.
Right, absolutely. So it is what it is. So
yeah, well, our job is to make that process as simple and as easy as possible. That's why we're trying to communicate with you right now about that, right?
That's right.
All right, well, we hope you guys have a great Labor Day weekend. Enjoy the long weekend. Enjoy the great weather. We don't know how long it's going to last. But as always, we look forward to talking with you guys next week. If you have any questions about real estate, don't hesitate. Give Chad or myself a call here at Coldwell Banker, and we would be happy to answer those questions.
That's right.
All right, have a great weekend and a safe weekend.